and said, "Didn't you wear that outfit yesterday?"
Like, what do you expect? You'd have a different outfit for every day of the year?
Like, there's a thing called a washing machine.
Exactly.
What do you do when your image is spotless, your fan base rides hard for you, and your brand is built on grace, but the people closest to you are dragging that all into the mud? If you're Sofi Manassyan, the answer is simple: you don't clap back. You don't rant. You just walk away and let the silence do the talking. But here's the thing, the silence? It's loud. Deafening. Actually, Sofi didn't post a statement. No long-winded video. No messy truth-telling live. No indirect tweets or shady captions.
Guys, I lost control. There's no escape. Just give me some space.
Just a quiet shift in her content. One that left fans staring at their screens, mouths open, thinking, wait a minute, where did everyone go? And just like that, without warning, without drama, without even a whisper, Sofi left her toxic friend group. And now, the internet is in full detective mode, because here's the tea. When a teen influencer with over 1 million fans suddenly goes solo, when names vanish from captions, when familiar faces get wiped off the grid like they were never there, it's never just a coincidence. This is a breakup. A public, social media sanitized, highly curated friend group divorce. And it's one that Sofi pulled off with the kind of finesse most influencers twice her age can't even begin to grasp. Let's break down what really happened, because once you connect the dots, it becomes crystal clear. Sofi Manassyan didn't just walk away from a group of friends. She escaped a PR disaster, protected her brand, and proved that real influence isn't about who screams the loudest, it's about who knows when to leave quietly. And oh, it gets juicy. The fall. When the vibe started getting weird, Sofi Manassyan's rise was clean, classy, and almost surgical. From her days as a dance prodigy to becoming one of Gen Z's most adored creators, she crafted a presence that felt safe, relatable, grounded, unproblematic. But as her platform grew, something shifted. Fans noticed it first in the background, the people she started hanging out with, flashy outfits, TikToks that felt forced, older guys creeping into the frame. Content that clashed with Sofi's calm, composed vibe. Who were these people? One name popped up a lot: Amelia. A close friend, always front and center in Sofi's TikToks. But while Sofi maintained a refined presence, Amelia leaned the opposite way. Skimpy outfits, overly mature behavior for her age, and perhaps the biggest red flag, frequent appearances with much older men. Then there was Thomas Wu, a 25-year-old man appearing in videos with girls barely 16. A full-grown adult buddying up to teenage influencers in ways that made fans uncomfortable. If the age gap wasn't enough to raise eyebrows, his constant presence in their content sure was. Fans started whispering, then commenting, then posting full-blown breakdown videos. What is Sofi doing with these people? The energy was off. Sofi's squeaky clean image at risk. The boba video that broke even, and then came the turning point. A cute, seemingly harmless boba-themed TikTok posted on Sofi's account. No big deal, right? Except Amelia wasn't tagged. Not even mentioned. For those who don't follow every detail, Amelia is obsessed with boba. It's part of her brand. Every time boba appears in content, Amelia's there. Tagged, credited, featured. This time, nothing. The video goes up. People notice. Comments flood in. Where's Amelia? Not her leaving Amelia out of a boba video. Loudly crying face. Okay, but this feels intentional. And suddenly, everyone is analyzing the move like it's a chess game. Which, let's be honest, it probably was. You don't just forget to tag your bestie in a video about their thing. Not when you've spent years being religious about tagging everyone. From big-name collabs to random background dancers, Sofi has always credited her people, so why not Amelia? That absence felt loud. Planned. Final. Timeline of the friendship breakuplets. Track the evidence. Dates don't lie. February the 23rd, Sofi posts the now infamous collab with Amelia. April the 28th. The same video is re-uploaded to Amelia's channel. May the 8th, no further collabs. Nothing new. Not a single IG story, TikTok comment, or shout out. Since then, radio silence. A complete wipeout of that friendship online. Not just Amelia either. Nevada, Thomas, Illa, all gone. Their absence is almost surgical. Clean cuts. No messy overlaps. No lingering tags. Just gone, which brings us to one inevitable conclusion: this wasn't a slow drift. It was a calculated move. A soft block on toxicity wrapped in silence. The friends she left behind. Let's talk about who these friends really were. Amelia, the friend who seemed too eager to grow up fast. Her content was all about pushing boundaries too far, too fast. Her behavior blurred the line between teenage curiosity and adult-level risk. Fans have long been uncomfortable with the image she projects. Thomas Wu, a man in his mid-20s constantly inserting himself into the lives of teenage girls. His presence went beyond mentorship or collaboration. It felt weird, invasive, predatory. Even Nevada and Illa, followers weren't convinced by their online personas either. From questionable captions to uncomfortable TikToks, they were the kind of friends who made Sofi look guilty by association. And the internet started noticing. Comment sections lit up. Sofi needs better people around her. She doesn't fit with this crew. Why is a grown man always filming with girls under 18? This wasn't nitpicking. It was concern. The subtle and then, out of nowhere, Sofi's content flipped. The dance videos? Solo again. The IG stories? Softer. Calmer. The vibes? Immaculate. New faces started appearing, people fans didn't recognize, but who felt safe. No sketchy age gaps. No clout chasers. Just creativity and calm energy. And for the first time in months, her comment section flipped. Sofi's glowing now. This is the old Sofi. Finally. She's back to herself. But here's the part that gets really interesting. Sofi never explained anything. And she didn't have to, because when your content speaks this clearly, you don't need a statement. Every silent unfollow. Every missing tag. Every video without a certain someone in the background, it told the whole story. What we can learn from Sofi's silent exit: this isn't just about teen drama. Or some viral influencer feud. This is about power, about knowing your worth, knowing your brand, and knowing when to walk away. Sofi didn't go live crying. She didn't rant on TikTok. She didn't try to cancel anyone or expose DMs, she just left. And that might be the most mature thing we've seen from a Gen Z creator all year. It's a blueprint. Honestly, do so many creators wait too long? They get dragged down trying to fix people, defend themselves, or hang on to toxic friendships because they don't want the backlash. Not Sofi. She saw the storm coming and she dipped before it could hit. Final stage. So, what do we call this? A soft launch friend breakup, a digital distancing, or just a young creator protecting her peace? Whatever it is, it worked. Sofi's back to doing what she does best: dancing, creating, and staying out of mess. And the best part? She did it all without feeding into the drama. She didn't hand her critics a story. She didn't give the haters ammo. She just made her move, quietly and confidently. And maybe that's the real power move of 2025. Coming up in part 2, we'll dive into the aftermath, how Sofi's old friends responded, what fans uncovered behind the scenes, and why some people believe she dodged a major bullet by walking away. Spoiler: the screenshots are wild. If you're loving this breakdown, hit that subscribe, drop your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned, because Sofi Manassyan is no longer stuck in a toxic crew, she's rewriting her own story. So now that we've established Sofi's silent exit wasn't just a creative direction shift, but a full-on strategic escape from a messy friend group, what happened next? Because trust, when someone as followed as Sofi suddenly vanishes from an entire social circle, people notice. And in this case, people dug deep. The split may have been silent, but the fallout was anything but quiet. Let's get into what really went down after Sofi decided she was done, because this is where the story turns from subtle to spicy. Fan detectives went into overdrive as soon as Sofi's solo content picked up and her toxic besties disappeared from the scene. Her most dedicated followers started playing internet CSI. They noticed everything: who was unfollowed, who wasn't tagged, who deleted what, and when. The fan-run Reddit pages lit up with theories like, did you guys notice that Thomas Wu deleted every pic with Sofi from his IG? Why is Nevada throwing shade in her TikTok captions lately? Someone check Amelia's backup account. She just posted something wild. Screenshots, timelines, post comparisons. It became a full-on investigation. And the receipts? Brutal. Amelia starts throwing shade, and it backfires. Let's start with Amelia, the former bestie. The boba silence was already a gut punch, but her response? Way more telling. A few days after Sofi's fans clocked the missing tag, Amelia posted a TikTok with the caption, "Funny how people act like they're better than you when they used to be just like you. That might seem harmless on its own, but the audio? It was a soundbite that went, they think they're too good for you now? Girl, they forgot who taught them how to slay." Oh, comments poured in, this about Sofi? Don't be bitter, girl. Be better. Sofi ain't even say your name, why you mad? Amelia didn't respond. But she didn't deny it either. That's when fans really started flipping on her. Old videos resurfaced, clips where she subtly talked over Sofi, or constantly shifted the attention to herself. People started saying, was she low-key jealous this whole time? The clean image war, Sofi versus Nevada's messy SUBTs. While Amelia went vague and passive-aggressive, Nevada went full chaos. She began posting story rants talking about fake friends, performative goodness, and girls who pretend to be angels online but are boring IRL. People were quick to connect the dots. One story even had a not-so-subtle dig, the clean girl aesthetic is for girls with no personality. Give me the real ones. The implication was clear. She was coming for Sofi's brand, the calm, aesthetic, dance-driven, unproblematic public persona fans love her for. But again, Sofi didn't say a word. She just posted a solo video with the caption, "Peace popularity every single time." And that single post outperformed all her previous content. Views up. Comments praising her. Fans rallying in full force. Nevada? Let's just say her subtweet campaign didn't land the way she wanted. Her comment sections turned hostile fast. You sound pressed. Why you're so mad she moved on? If peace is boring, keep the chaos. Thomas gets exposed, and it's not pretty. Here's where it gets serious. While the girls threw subtle shade, Thomas Wu, the 25-year-old influencer friend, started catching heat from other directions. A fan account made a compilation of every time he appeared in Sofi's and Amelia's TikToks, and it didn't look good. Half the clips featured him giving overly familiar touches, or inserting himself into conversations like he was one of them. Except he wasn't. He's a full-grown man. That's when the dam broke. A video titled, "Why is this 25-year-old always with teen girls?" started making rounds on TikTok and YouTube. It blew up. 1.3 million views in 48 hours. The video wasn't even wild. It was calm, factual, and cited every appearance he made, every comment he left, and the way he interacted with underage fans in the comments. People flooded his page. He ended up disabling comments, archiving posts, and then, out of nowhere, deleting his Instagram for 3 days. When he came back, he had wiped over 60% of his content. Everything with Sofi? Gone again. Sofi said nothing, and yet, just by cutting ties, she avoided the entire scandal. She didn't get dragged in. No clips of her giggling at his jokes. No awkward defensive statements. She just ghosted him months earlier. Ahead of the fallout, people began realizing she didn't just walk away from weird friends. She saw this coming. Fans praise Sofi's FOSHT. Now here's where the public sentiment really locked in. TikTok, Twitter, X, Reddit, YouTube, fans rallied behind Sofi like she was a teen pop star avoiding industry plants. She really pulled the classiest friend breakup in history. The foresight. This girl dodged a PR grenade. She's the only influencer I trust right now. She moves like a queen. And the numbers backed it up. Her engagement spiked, a 40% increase in TikTok views, 12K new followers on Instagram in a week. Comment sentiment turned almost 90% positive. People weren't just forgiving her, they were celebrating her for escaping what they now saw as a toxic circle. The deeper strategy. Sofi's brand is her armor. Sofi's not just lucky. She's smart. Whether she did it consciously or not, here's what she managed to do: preserved her reputation by distancing early. She made sure none of their mess splashed on her. Avoided drama fatigue. She didn't feed the beast. No exposés, no name calling. Just vibes. Elevated her content post-friendship. Her videos feel more mature, more creative, more her. She's back to her core: dance, creativity, elegance. Earned fan trust. The internet loves people who protect their peace. Sofi didn't cry about it, she took action. That level of quiet, controlled decision-making? It's rare in this space. Especially for someone her age. But was it all planned? Some fans have another theory, and it's a spicy one. What if this wasn't a reactive move? What if Sofi knew what she was doing all along? Here's what some believe: Sofi saw how her friends were acting. She waited, kept quiet, stacked her own content, then slowly phased them out once she had enough material to post solo again. Like a PR chess move. Clean. Efficient. Unmessy. Could it be true? Honestly, maybe. Even if it wasn't pre-planned, the way she navigated this proves she has instincts that most teen influencers simply do not. The power of walking at the end of the day. Here's why this story hits so hard for people. It's not just tea. It's relatable. We've all had to walk away from someone. A friend group that started feeling off. A vibe that no longer served us. People who dimmed our light or made us second-guess ourselves. And what did most of us do? We stayed too long. We explained. We cried. We gave second chances, but Sofi, she walked, not for clout. Not for drama. Just for herself, and that's what makes her different. In a world of oversharing, Sofi reminded us that quiet decisions can be the loudest statements. Final words. So here we are, Amelia. Still throwing vague shade, Nevada. Trying too hard to prove she's real. Thomas. Radio silent after public pressure. Sofi. Quietly thriving. Glowing up. Creating. She didn't just leave a friend group, she left a narrative that didn't serve her anymore. And in doing so, she wrote a new one where she gets to choose peace, privacy, and power over pettiness. She showed that influence isn't about volume. It's about vision. So what do you think? Was Sofi strategic? Lucky? Or just following her intuition? Drop your thoughts below. And if you're here for more stories about how creators survive and thrive in the chaos of clout culture, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because Sofi's story, it's just beginning, and something tells me her next chapter is going to be the best one yet. Sofi's new era, the comeback, the glow-up, and the real one. So after cutting ties with the chaotic crew, handling the shade in silence, and letting the internet piece everything together for her, what's next for Sofi Manassyan? Well, if you've been watching closely, the answer is already here. She's not just surviving without them. She's thriving. And the way she's doing it says more about her than any public statement ever could. Let's talk about the glow-up, the new people in her corner, and how she's quietly building a new chapter that's more mature, more aligned, and possibly her smartest move yet. New faces, better vibes right off the bat. Fans noticed something major. Sofi didn't just cut off the old group and go solo forever. She replaced them strategically. Her latest TikToks and Instagram posts now feature a whole new crew. But there's something different this time. These aren't the same loud, performative TikTok personalities we saw before. These are creators who share Sofi's vibe, calm energy, creative focus, and no thirst for online drama. One of the most prominent new faces. A low-key dancer named Kai, known for his minimalist choreography and soft-spoken personality. Another, Lena, a visual artist who blends fashion and dance together. They've been putting out aesthetic, well-thought-out content, soft lighting, muted colors, clean choreography. The kind of content that makes you pause, not scroll, and fans love it. The comment sections. Glowing. This feels like the old Sofi, but evolved. These collabs are actually inspiring. No more chaos. Just talent. That shift isn't accidental. It's branding, and it's brilliant. Sofi's rebrand is working. Sofi hasn't said a word about the friend group drama, but what she has done is reclaim her narrative through content. Let's break it down. Point 1. Visual shift. Her TikToks used to be fast, flashy, chaotic. Now, cinematic, controlled, intentional. Think, natural lighting, less filters, more raw footage. She's also posting more dance sessions filmed outdoors, in parks, on rooftops, in studios. These aren't your average 15-second trendy TikToks. They're more like dance short films. It's giving artist, not influencer. Point 2. Personal growth. She recently dropped a video titled "What I've Learned About Protecting My Peace," and while she never mentions names, the subtext is clear. She talks about learning when to walk away, how silence can be powerful, and why not every friendship is meant to last. It's her way of processing, publicly, but on her terms. Point 3. New core audience. Here's the kicker. Her new content isn't just different. It's attracting a new crowd. Less teens chasing viral chaos, more young adults who respect boundaries, self-care, and growth. She's aging up her audience without alienating them, a genius move for long-term influence. Fans are seeing her in a new light. If you scroll through any of her recent posts, it's clear. Public opinion has done a 180. The internet that once questioned her for the company she kept is now rooting for her harder than ever. Sofi's in her healing era. She's becoming the kind of influencer I wish I had at her age. This is how you leave a toxic situation without turning it into content. People love a comeback, but they love a quiet, classy comeback even more, and Sofi delivered that. The bigger picture, Sofi's long game. Here's the thing. Most influencers chase the moment. The trend. The next hit collab, but Sofi, she's playing the long game. By cutting ties with people who didn't reflect her values, and choosing not to air out dirty laundry for views, she's building something most influencers will never have. Credibility. That's the foundation for lasting influence, the kind that gets you brand deals, roles in film, collaborations with serious creatives. It's no longer about being the fun TikTok girl. She's now being seen as a young artist with integrity, and that shift opens doors. So what's next for Sofi? Honestly, the sky's wide open. Here's what we're expecting in Sofi's next chapter: brand collabs that make sense, no more fast fashion junk. Think sustainable clothing lines, wellness products, art-based platforms, creative projects. We wouldn't be surprised if she's quietly working on a short dance film or choreographing a bigger production. Speaking out, on her terms. Maybe not soon, but eventually, Sofi might share more about her experience, not to drag others, but to help young people learn when to walk away from toxic friendships. One thing's for sure, she's just getting started. Speech balloon. Final thought: Sofi Manassyan didn't need to go live, post 10-minute rants, or make messy subtweets to get her message across. She just removed herself, got intentional with her circle, and let her work speak for itself. That's not just maturity. That's power. So to every young person watching, let Sofi's story be your reminder that sometimes, the best thing you can do for your mental health, your creativity, and your future is walk away quietly, and then glow up loudly. Stick around, because if this is Sofi's new beginning, we're all here for it.